Airline operators are seeking to support to cushion the devastating impact of coronavirus on the sector. And they believe with a package of more than 5 billion naira, their businesses can get out of the woods. Lilian Eze-Mark takes a look at the challenges of the carriers as they prepare to take to the skies again.
The deadly coronavirus breaks out in Wuhan, China, and aviation converts it across borders. Death rate rises globally, making this pandemic move from a global crisis to a public health crisis, generating fear to force countries to shut their airspaces, routes suspended, aircraft grounded, and even legacy airlines are shaken.
You have staff you have to pay, you have rent you have to pay, you have taxes you have to pay, you have obligations you must pay, you have contractual agreements you must pay. You have agreed with hotels and paid up front. Fuel you paid up front, you've hedged, and suddenly there are no passengers.
According to International Air Transport Association, disruptions from COVID-19 include 853,000 loss in passenger volumes and $170 million loss in revenue base in Nigeria. These could result in 22,000 job cuts. The situation throws civil aviation into an uncharted territory, making Nigerian Ministry of Aviation afraid of the future of the industry.
You have not flown, so I've lost it. I cannot regain it. I cannot sell it tomorrow. The one I sell is tomorrow is meant for tomorrow, and there's no way I can come back up with it. So this is the situation of civil aviation. It's really a pathetic one. We're all crying. And I can guarantee you several airlines are not going to come out of this, unfortunately.
With the lifting of about 3 months of airspace restriction, Nigerian designated airports and airlines prepare to reunite with passengers and destinations. This is coming with higher operational costs for the carriers. International Air Transport Association has predicted that airlines globally will need 4.8 billion naira to bring planes out of the hangar. They are cleaning the aircraft from nose to tail and disinfecting them after every turnaround. The procedure is for the safety of the passengers.
Our training by WHO is vast to handle an index passenger, and in case a passenger becomes sick, not with COVID-19, with something else, we are also very wary of that, and we will also take care of that in the same manner that we've been doing.
People don't eat. When people don't have a place to go at the end of the day, the quality becomes very restive. Everything we do in this country must be geared towards job retention and job creation. COVID-19 has caused and brought about immense loss of jobs worldwide. We must begin to think of ways of curbing the losses in Nigeria.
We went to the airport to look at how passengers will experience the new normal at the airport, and Aero Contractors is our guide. The constant factors include mask wearing, social distancing, hand washing and sanitizing at the terminal, check-in counters, security checks and boarding gates. Particular attention is paid to temperature checks.
We do 4 temperature checks at the airport before a passenger board the flight. One is at the entrance of the airport before the passenger gets into the check-in area. After check-in, there's a second temperature check, which is done before the passenger gets to the screening point. Then we have a third temperature check, which is done at the boarding gate. The final check is before the passenger gets into the aircraft proper. The reason why we do this several temperature check is to ensure that passenger is in a good state of health at these various points.
All aircrafts are disinfected, and all staffs must adorn the approved PPEs for operations. And with that, we are assuring passengers that flying will be safe and as very comfortable as usual.
Use it and then proceed with the bottle with yours. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Going to Abuja. Okay, please pick one sanitizer, use it, then proceed with it. You're welcome.
We are inside one of the aircrafts that has undergone maintenance and made ready for the new normal operations, which includes disinfecting the aircraft regularly and passengers maintaining minimal contacts with the flight crew. To reduce contact between flight crew and passengers, water for passengers' refreshment is tucked into seat pockets. Announcements reinforce safety guideline procedures.
As part of the NCDC COVID-19 response procedures, please ensure you have your face masks worn properly throughout the duration of this flight.
The middle seats of the aircraft are empty to reinforce social distancing. But who pays for the empty seats?
Physical distancing, which I didn't talk about, cannot be achieved in a single aisle airplane and also be profitable for the airline to fly. And we don't want the tickets fare to be so high. So we still believe that physical distancing inside the aircraft cannot be achieved. And there is no science that shows that when you block a center seat, which is only 50-something centimeters or inches wide, can actually translate into lesser transmission in case there's an index passenger sitting by the window or by the aisle.
That is a critical area that is still being looked into by the stakeholders altogether, not just one person. But the good news is that Airline, the CBN is going to come in because the government has promised some palliative in specific areas, and through CBN they're going to be grant and going to be loan, to take care of all these areas, not only to airlines but all other stakeholders that have been involved in some spendings which are not budgeted for.
Airlines seek bailouts, and the International Air Transport Association estimates that emergency aid of up to $200 billion is required to take the airlines out of the woods. Cost-cutting measures to mitigate impacts of COVID-19 on airlines include loans by governments to the airlines, tax rebates, temporary waivers of taxes, and other imposed levies. While aviation still hovers in turbulent skies and tries to navigate safely through COVID-19 headwinds, airworthiness and safety protocol issues remain unsolved. Lilian Eze-Mark, TVC News, Lagos.